Okay, I just started recording, but we're only gonna have the last 20 minutes. Yeah, that's my bad, because we were late, and I had it, like, up, and then I closed it out.
No, that's okay.
Bring it! I am on fire! Everyone follow me! Maximum charge! Ready for battle. Don't hold back. Get in there. Maximum charge.
One thing I would say is, you're focusing tanks a little too much. Especially when there's like squishies right next to them. Try to focus on the low health targets, because you can burn them down faster, and you're gonna get more value out of killing them.
Yeah,
Group up.
makes sense.
This. Go, the Mohol. Give me your best shot. A speedy
Yeah, that was a mistake. Shouldn't have been in.
Yep, so you evaluated the mistake, and now you are going to apply that next
This
time you
fight
go,
is
okay,
not over.
in the future, it's probably not smart idea to
My
leave my whole
ultimate is
team and go and
charging.
uplink Asaria.
Yeah.
Unless I'm looking for Grav.
Yeah.
Group up here.
Join with me. Group up with me. Oh, cheers.
Group up. Go. That's more like it.
There, I'd say you didn't get punished for it, but make sure that you're looking to see if your team's there before you're walking all the way forward. There, your entire team is still spawned, so you probably will want to push that far forward. Because better teams will punish you for that. So if that hog hooks you at a higher level team, you're dead, because the hog gets his shots and the Genji finishes you off.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, good cover usage. You get documenting cover as soon as the Moira says coalescence again.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Touch from afar. Give me another shot.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engine.
Ready for battle. I'm going for the
So that's a situation where, just in case your Hanzo's not looking for it, you'd call it out in team chat. In competitive play, you'd say, we have Grav Dragon.
I am on fire.
This fight, Hanzo save your dragon, and I'll call when I'm grabbing.
Yeah.
Victory.
Yep.
Overall, very good round. Most of the time, you're at very high energy. You had a few positional errors where you're pushing too aggressively past your team. I'd say play a little bit closer to your Reinhardt, even if you have bubble up. And then when you don't have bubble, play behind your Reinhardt.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Now traveling to Busan.
It is not my preference to see to matters personally, but I will see them done.
Okay, not letting me swap the scale guy.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture
Sorry, what was that?
objective.
It's not letting me spectate anyone but Gale.
Thank you.
Oh, do you want me to leave and like find another game, something like
Let me try leaving.
that?
I don't get why it does
Now
that.
traveling to Busan.
Yeah, like I can't spectate anyone but Gale. I'd say
Time to raise my
give
ATM.
it like 30 seconds. See if it lets me swap.
Defense matrix
Then we can leave.
activated.
Is now
But I don't know why it's doing this. Oh wait, I swapped. Oh yeah, I got you.
Yeah, you got it?
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
This fight is not over. Is that all you've got? You needed it all. Bring it. This will only work for you.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Go, don't go fast.
So when you have high energy and you're at a significant
This is not your
disadvantage,
time.
your number
Yeah.
one priority there is to survive with energy. So when you're right next to spawn like that and you're 70 energy, you just run into spawn so that you're safe. Because then you keep that for next fight.
Fires on
Yeah, definitely makes sense.
Heroes never die. Activating subsequent sequence. Surrender to my will.
Огонь по готовности.
Remember when there's like 3 people in it, try right clicking and do it. When it's like 2 or less, you left click. When it's 3 people, right click.
From Russia with love.
Yeah.
Do you mind enlightening me to what the train of thought was when you were when you're staring at the Diva Bomb? Do you remember what you were thinking?
When I was staring at, oh, I don't know, it was just funny because he shattered and then they were like used.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were trying to like bubble it or something along those lines. I didn't know what you're doing.
yeah, I thought about it. Like when I had the shatter, I was like thinking maybe I bubble someone, but then I saw the ult.
This fight is not over.
So when you know or you think that they're coming up on Grav, you should try to save your when you know they're coming up on ultimates, you should be saving your bubbles for those ultimates. So when you know they have Shatter, when you know they have Grab, if you know they have Blade, anything like that, you want to be saving bubbles so that you have your bubbles for that situation that's coming up.
First round lost.
You're you're gold or platinum,
Score.
right? Like what's your SR?
Plat.
Plat? Okay. Would
Yeah,
you
no.
be interested in learning some different call outs, like call techniques? There's like shot calling, ult tracking,
A lot of good
target
people in
calling,
Helix died when
um,
you escaped.
all of
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
People I knew.
Yeah. All right.
Don't make it personal.
You get insta queues. We could probably just leave this game. Demonstrator. Okay. Or I'm gonna bring up. I'm gonna screen share it quick. We can kind of demonstrate. So there are the three different aspects to call outs. There's shot calling, there's ult tracking, and then there's target calling. The simplest is target calling. You've probably heard this a lot. Probably do it, and that's just calling a target to focus, which is like Ana, ash,
Yeah.
and you just call that out. So when you shoot people, I just want to hear you calling that because it's not always gonna happen. So a good way to guarantee that it happens is by you doing it. So every time that you're shooting at someone, just call that target. So when you're like, trying to mow down an Ana, go Ana. When you're trying to shoot a Reinhardt, go Ryan. And then that way your team can assist you with killing them and they'll die faster, which will make sure that they're not getting healing and surviving. Second aspect is I'm gonna do the first part of shot calling. So shot calling is watching kill feed and then addressing is the fight won or lost. When you're up a person, then that's an advantage. If you're down a person, that's a disadvantage. When you're up two people, that unless ults are involved or it's overtime or something like that, in a neutral fight, if you're up two people, that's most likely a fight win. If you're down people, that's most likely a fight loss. So pay attention to kill feed and address that. And when you're losing fights or winning fights, you can go fight one, no ults. Fight lost, no ults. And then that's no ults, no ults. And then that way, your team's not over ulting in scenarios where you already lost the fight or you already won the fight. Like if you win the fight, you don't want to be using extra 3 ultimates because then you have that for the next fight. If you're losing a fight, you don't want to be using 3 ultimates because then you can have that for the next fight. So if you're calling that out to your team who might not be paying attention to kill feed, then you'll overall be saving more ultimates and having more ultimates for other fights. Next thing off of that is going to be ult tracking. So ult tracking, if you're watching the stream, I want to use this as an example, but you're going to be pressing tab after every single fight, and you're going to look at the enemy characters. So we're going to use this as an example for tab since I can't just access tab here. So these are the enemy teammates up top here, and then these are your teammates down here. So what you're going to do is going to go from left to right, and we're basically going to use a process of elimination to guesstimate what they are coming up and having for next fight. So we can go, okay, last fight, I saw or heard that they used Ana ult, they used Bob, and they used Baptiste ult. I see that they just swapped off of a McCree to a Bastion, so they don't have Bastion ult.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, I don't know if they use D.Va or Brig ult, so you ask your team, did they use Brig or D.Va ult? And then they say, oh, well, they used Rally last fight.
Yeah.
So you can say, next fight, they only have D.Va ult. Give me a second, I have to water. So now you're prepared for what they have, since you call that out to your team and you know what's going to happen. So that way you can say bubbles for D.Va ult. If it's a grab, you can say bubbles for grab, that type of deal. The next thing right after that, so this is in between fights, that if you win or lose the fight, you start calling this out. So that's going to be the best time to get all this information out. So then go through the bottom row and you go, okay, we have, for this example, we're going to say we have all of our ults. We do not want to use all of our ults because if we use 6 ultimates, the next fight, they have ultimates and we don't.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do. So, yeah, sorry, 1 second. 1 second, someone's talking to me.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna go to your team comp and you're gonna go, okay, we have 6 ults and we don't want to use 6 ults. So we're gonna say what we're gonna use, and that way you're stopping you from we're coordinating it. So we're gonna use pull, May, and then coalescence. So that way we're not using 6 ultimates, we're using 2, and then we're also coordinating abilities and ultimates. So that way we're calling to pull the May, which we might not have pulled the May if we didn't say it. We can. That's a good example of this is our Zarya grab. So if we know that we have Zarya and Hanzo, I guarantee you've had games where you've had a Hanzo or you have had a Pharah that just ult when you have the combo up. If you call that before the fight, then you can better get that off, and then you're winning more fights. So you talk about what they have, and then you talk about what you're using.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So do you have?
Yeah, I never been in a team that call out enemy ults. I guess that's something you do in like higher ranks, but yeah, that sounds super helpful.
You have any questions about any of that?
No, not really.
Okay, well then you can probably hop into it.
Yeah. So you're like in Masters, right? Or
no, I am a top 500 player.
Sorry, am I?
I am top 500.
Oh,
I'm private if you.
yeah, that's awesome. No,
Oh.
so in like grandmasters and top 500, people do that all the time.
Um, not because people still don't talk an insane amount because it's not a team environment. But I
Yeah.
like to implement that in my gameplay. And if I'm playing with, let's say I'm playing even with like masters players, or if I like go on like a Smurf, which I don't really do regularly anymore, but I used to do that. Um,
Yeah.
I go into a Smurf and I start implementing all of those callouts at that rank. People are kind of blown away. You get like 6 shot caller, or 5 shot caller endorsements after the match is over, and then um, and then people are kind of like you basically it's verbal carrying. You're organizing your team, and the enemy team isn't organized, so you win off of that.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I mean, yeah, I imagine like Overwatch is mostly about being like a team player and being an organized team.
Welcome to Blizzard World. Five, four, three, two, one. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Right, I'm gonna have to go like directly at 1, so like 2 minutes before I'll start talking through all of the end credit type deal stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, remember not to be pushing so far ahead of your Sigma and your team, because in that situation, better teams will have a Lucio and they'll speed onto you. Die.
Yeah.
Varios testigos.
Sorry, Reinhardt.
Remember, especially when we don't bubble, we want to stand behind their tanks. 'Cause there you went down to like 20 HP.
Yeah.
Kind of think of yourself as like a semi-tank, not a
Is that all
main
you've
tank.
got?
You're the off tank. You're not a full tank. You're half tank. Here, bubbles could use a little bit of work. Make sure again you're focusing on your bubbles.
I am strong.
Step
Okay, good
right.
bubbles there. When you have nano, you can afford to go aggressive because you have the damage reduction. So you're probably you're a lot less likely to die if you have nano.
Barriers on you. Огонь по готовности. I need healing.
Alright, so they're
The power
kind of evaluating your position in comparison to your teams.
Да,
I'm
не
pretty sure they're
видишь,
holding on
и
the
рыбку
backup
туда.
point, or your team was dead even.
Yeah,
You
they were
wanna, kind of don't want to be holding boxes in that scenario because you're pushed way far ahead of your team. That's
Yeah,
kind of
so I should have just like
fallen
go
back.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the times it's seeming that you don't really pay attention to where your team's standing in comparison to yourself. You always want to know where your team's at in comparison to you, so that you can
Yeah.
kind of back up if you need to, or go aggressive if you can. Like,
Yeah, right now they were all dead.
Get it charging up.
okay, so that pretty much wraps up the session. I will get you the video, the last 20 minutes at least, since I forgot about the first 40 minutes. Sorry about that. But I'll get you the video as well as some notes in an hour or so. And then after that, I will go and put all of the stuff that I've given you over on the Fiverr, as well as Discord, and then I will mark the order as delivered. And then what you can do is go over to Fiverr and mark the order as completed, and then leave a review. It's very nice meeting you. If you ever have any questions, go ahead and ask them anytime. I'll see you later. Any last questions before I go?
Nope, not
Right.
really. Thank you very much. It was
Yep.
very nice.
No problem, dude. Good luck with your games. Yep.
Thanks. Thanks, man.
What? I left and I rejoined. Alright, bye.